happy New Year. In anticipation of tomorrow being the New Year, today, this New Year Eve, I am preparing a very special dish. A dish that you have asked me to make, a dish that you requested, and a dish that I love to make. Paella. Yes, paella. We're gonna be making a mixed paella. What is what we have here? We have chicken, lobster, shrimp, octopus, sweet peppers, Spanish chorizo, onions, garlic, tomatoes, and the spices that make paella a great dish. And we're gonna be making paella with authentic Spanish rice, the best to make paella, which is Bomba. Yes. So let's make a paella in anticipation of a great New Year. The first thing that I'm going to do is prepare the marinade for the chicken and marinate the chicken. I do this a little different, so just follow me. I will put about a half cup of Spanish olive oil, and I put about a teaspoon of paprika or pimentón dulce, and I put a little bit, like a half spoon of oregano, and a half spoon of black pepper. I mix it. Wow, this is flavor. And I am going to go ahead and put it over the chicken. Here I have, for this paella, I have a chicken, and I have a breast of chicken, half a breast, a thigh, and a leg. I like to have a little bit of different types of the chicken, white and dark meat. And then I marinate it, just pour it over the chicken, and I let it sit for about half an hour or so. And I always use a fresh chicken, and I'd like to buy the whole chicken and cut it. I want to make sure that I get a whole real chicken, and I like to do the cutting myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this chicken rest on this marinade for about 30 minutes, and I will come back and continue preparing the chicken. We'll prepare the chicken first, and then the rest of the ingredients for Paella Mixta. That is a mixed paella, one that has chicken, seafood, Spanish chorizo, ole. Now that I let the chicken rest for about half an hour, I have put olive oil on this pan at 350. Now I am going to be adding the marinated chicken. Be careful, because sometimes it just jumps, but that's okay. And I'm cooking the whole pieces of chicken, and later I will cut the chicken into smaller pieces when I'm making the paella. So what we're gonna do now is I'm going to semi-cook the chicken, brown it, and then I will take it aside and cook the rest of the ingredients before we make the rice. So stay with me, and we're making Paella Mixta. Ole. As the chicken is roasting beautifully, I'm going to go ahead and add the Spanish chorizo to this mix to cook it and to blend all these flavors that make paella such a delicious, succulent, special dish. Paella is one of these out of this world eating experiences. So we'll go ahead and continue cooking the chicken and the chorizo, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients to this extraordinary mix of flavor. Now that the chicken and the chorizo are ready, I'm gonna take them out. Make sure to clean the dish before you put any chicken on it. This was the dish that I used to marinate the chicken. Make sure you clean it. Never mix cooked and uncooked chicken. Later, I will cut this chicken into pieces when we make the paella. So go ahead, take the ingredients out. Chorizo is, I almost want to eat it right now. I'm gonna set it aside. And now on this mix of flavor, I'm going to be adding the shrimp. If you can find shrimp, whole shrimp with the head on and cooked, is better. It will add to the flavor. So we'll add the shrimp, and we have mussels. And we have a small octopus, pulpos, pequeños pulpos. We'll go ahead and add everything in here. If you need to add more olive oil, add more olive oil. And we have lobster tails. I have 2 lobster tails. I'm gonna put the whole tails in here with shell on, bottom down like this. And later on we'll take the shell off before we serve them. Add a little bit more of olive oil. This is delicious. So we'll cook this until the shrimp turn a little pink. The mussels open, and the octopus, it really doesn't matter. And of course, we'll continue cooking this with our rice. So for now, let's cook it, and I'll be back. Now that the seafood is ready, I want to eat it, but I gotta wait. Because today we're making a paella. So I'm gonna take the seafood out for the pan for a little bit, so we can cook the vegetables and the rice. This looks delicious. Wow. Oh boy. This by itself is just to die for. So now I am going to be cooking the rice, but before I do that, I'm gonna be adding onions, a whole onion, a whole garlic, and peppers. And I am going to saute them in this mix of flavor in preparation to adding Bomba rice. I can already taste it. It's gonna be delicious. Now that this is ready, and by the way, it smells sensationally delicious, I'm going to move it to the sides to add the rice. And I'm gonna be adding 3 cups of Bomba rice. Oh, this is one of the best rice to make paella. Bomba Santo Tomas, yes. Hard to find, but you can find it. Wow. I wanted to, this is a 1 kilo bag or 2.2 pounds, and we're using 4 cups of rice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to brown the rice on all this flavor. And then I'm gonna be adding a little bit of water at a time to cook the rice. This rice cooks very quickly. And then we're gonna be adding all the ingredients, the chicken, the chorizo, the mussels, the shrimp, the pulpo or octopus, and the lobster. This is almost a religious experience. Una experiencia religiosa. We brown the rice. Be careful, make sure not to overcook it, not to overburn it. And then we'll be adding the rest of the ingredients to make Paella Mixta in anticipation of the new year. Ole! Now that the rice is ready, I'm going to be adding all the other ingredients that we cooked before. So I'm going to start by adding the chicken, and I have cut the chicken into pieces. So we'll add the chicken. We add the chorizo. That is the sound of flavor. And of course, we add the mussels, the shrimp, the octopus, and I will save the lobster for last. I gotta take the shells out, and I like the lobster to be added almost at the very end. And we're gonna be adding water to slowly cook this sensational, flavorful Paella Mixta. Later, I'm gonna be adding tomatoes, saffron, and perhaps a secret spice, Spanish fly. Think about it. So we let this cook slowly. I be adding more water in the process. When you do this, you can add, if you like to, you can add chicken broth, clam juice, or any type of a broth that you would like, vegetable broth. I just like to add water, and because I have a lot of flavor in here. So we'll come back. This is almost ready. Yes. Ole. Paella Mixta. En anticipación de Año Nuevo, un año muy bueno, el mejor todavía de los años que vienen. The paella is almost ready. You want the rice to burn a little bit into the pan. That adds flavor to it. Everything else is cooked to perfection. Now I'm going to be adding saffron. Yes, saffron. Just a little bit of it. And we'll stir it. Don't add too much, just a little pinch. Delicious. Oh my God. Wow. And I'm gonna be stirring all this flavor. You see this? This is good. Sticking to the pan perfectly. It's almost ready. It's almost al dente. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be adding, what else? Sea salt. I like to add the salt towards the end of it. You don't need to add too much salt because of the seafood that is in it, but add a little bit of it. And stir it. And lastly, I'm gonna be adding a little bit more water and tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. I add the tomatoes at the end because I don't like to overcook them. That's my personal taste. You can cook the tomatoes if you like to. So we're almost ready to enjoy Paella Mixta. Oh, the lobster. Oh yes, the lobster. This is when I add the lobster. I cut it into little pieces and I am going to spread it evenly over the entire paella so everybody gets a little bit of a lobster. I'm gonna add a little bit more of water. And then the tomatoes. We're almost ready to enjoy Paella Mixta in anticipation of a great new year. This is ready. This is ready for the tomatoes. I'm gonna be adding the tomatoes. Mix them. And we're gonna be adding basil leaves. I'm sorry, not basil, but parsley leaves. You can add basil if you like to. Here, I'm gonna be adding fresh basil leaves. I'm gonna let it rest for about 5 minutes. Add a little bit of olive oil. Get a good white wine and enjoy Paella Mixta. Yes. Ole. Happy New Year. Our meal is ready and I'm ready to enjoy. Pretty soon I will have guests arriving. Before they do, I must taste the food for you. This is sensationally extraordinary Paella Mixta. Is it good? No, it's delicious, super delicious. I'm gonna get a little bit of rice, a morsel of lobster. I'm telling you, this is good, very good. Little bit of octopus. And why not taste the chorizo? Oh. for Paella Mixta, a good white wine, Pinot Grigio, origin. Not expensive, but definitely one of the best. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your suggestions. Next year is gonna be a great year, and I'd like to wish you a happy, but before happiness, a healthy, happy, prosperous new year. Until the next video, and for now, I will continue to enjoy Paella Mixta. Salud. Ole.